Hi everyone, and welcome to The Naked Truth. I am Jennifer Bleacher. I am one of your hosts this evening, and tonight I have a very special guest host with me. I'm so excited to have her on the show, Zen Maiden, also known as Melody.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. And who do we have with us?
We have Randy, aka Frankensleeve. So Randy, I would like for you to come up, tell us a little bit about your journey and take it away.
Well, my real name is Randy, but I go by Joe Saint on the weight loss surgery forums, and that's been my handle for a long time. I'm approaching my third year post weight loss surgery. I had vertical gastric sleeve surgery back in December of 2012. It was kind of a fast process. I went in for my first consultation on December the 7th, and I was sleeved and released on December the 27th.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, I knew what I wanted when I went into the doctor. I had done my research. I found a doctor who was approved by my insurance. He had 12 years of surgery experience in VSG, and that's the surgery he preferred to do. So he interviewed me, and he realized I was serious about it and knew what I was getting into, and he said, if you want this done in a hurry, here's what you got to do. And in the course of 2 weeks, I did all the pre-op tests. I had the psychological evaluation, and I was on my way.
So, did you go through insurance?
Yes, I called my insurance company back in September, and I actually backed out of my first attempt to do it. I got cold feet, and I gave myself one more chance at losing weight the old-fashioned way, and by the end of, I guess it was October, the end of October, I was already back to my old eating habits, and I had lost a single pound. I said, I just can't go on like this anymore. This is what I have to do. And I just set my mind to it.
So how did you come up with your handle?
Which one? Frankensleeve or Joseph?
The Joe one.
Oh, well, that came about back like 2000. I needed something really unique for future use, I believed, for something no one else would use for their username on forums or email addresses and stuff like that. And at the time, I still consider myself a jack of all trades, Joat, J-O-A-T. And at the time, my favorite movie was The Saint, starring Val Kilmer. So I thought Saint Joat, and that didn't quite work. So I said Joat Saint. And that sounded awkward, but that's how it stuck.
Okay.
Okay. I was wondering what you were saying.
I thought you said Joe. So I said Joat. Okay. And how did you come up with Frankensleeve?
Well, it's kind of weird. I was trying to. I'd read so many threads about people asking, "What did you name your new stomach?" And there was like Sleevey Wonder and Sleevey Nicks, and I thought, well, my sleeve is kind of scarred and has scar lines and staples, and he's constantly growling at me and twisting in knots, and so I thought, well, he's like Frankenstein's monster, so I thought Frankensleeve.
Awesome. And I've always wondered this. Do you have that doll like specially made for you, or did you buy that somewhere?
Actually, I found him on eBay. If I can hold him up here high enough. Yeah.
It's perfect for Halloween.
I found him. Actually, found him after I came up with the name. I started just doing research online, and it turns out this, I guess, some type of pharmaceutical company was putting out these stomach pills, and they had a convention, and they said they made these little dolls as a handout for the convention. They had like the stomach, they had the pancreas, they had the spleen, and they had a piece of the stomach, a strap of the stomach. To me, it looks like a piece of bacon, but it's supposed to be representing the six-pack abs. So
bacon, six-pack abs,
yeah.
You know.
So that's how I got Frankensleeve. I found him online. I wrapped a little green towel around his head and made this fake hair for him.
Awesome.
Super cute.
Yeah.
Super cute.
Okay, we're gonna start with community celebrations, and then we'll get into questions. I only have 3 tonight. I usually get more, so I don't know. Maybe people are just busy today. They didn't have time to respond to my post. But Rachel Castillo had surgery this week, so congratulations, Rachel. Becca Mikulaka? I don't know if I said that right. But she hit a normal BMI. That is so exciting. I'm so, so, so excited for you. I can only imagine what that would be like. I wouldn't really know, but I think that would be really, really cool. And then downsizing, Nikki has lost over 100 pounds so far. She's lost 110 so far. So congratulations on that. That is awesome. What a great accomplishment. If there are any other shout outs that you guys know about that are watching, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I have that open on my other screen. I'm back to my big computer now. I've got my 2 screens. I've got my lighting. I'm a much happier girl this week. So feel free to leave me questions and comments below, and I will get to them later on during the show. Also, if you're watching, say hi so I can give you a shout out later when we go through everyone who's watching. So I think I'll let Melody start with the first question tonight.
Okay, thank you. Randy, Joe, you want me to call you Joe or Randy?
Just call me Randy. I'm trying to transition from that name to my real name, so
okay,
we go with that.
Perfect. I just didn't want to call you the wrong name like me.
I go by either one. I answered a "Hey you" at work, so it doesn't matter.
Gotcha. So could you tell us a little bit about your story surrounding weight, your background, when you started to gain, if you've been overweight your whole life, or if it came after a certain point, and when that part is done, go ahead and tell us how that impacted you, if it was an issue when you were young or a young adult at that time when it started.
Yeah, as far back as I can remember, I've been overweight. I was a chubby kid. I can still remember going to Sears department store to get Husky brand jeans because regular jeans wouldn't fit me as far back as first grade. And you're going to have to kind of remind me the rest of the question. I've kind of lost track of it.
Okay, yeah, so just your story surrounding weight, the background is so you've been heavy all your life, or at least a little bit, right?
Yeah.
When did you really start to gain a lot?
Around 2007. Up till that point, for like the previous 10 years, I was hanging around between 250 and 270, and I had a very active jobs up till then. Then I got a job where I was sitting at a desk all day long, and from 2007 to 2010, I packed on another 100 pounds, and got up to 370, 375. 375 was the highest recorded weight. After that, I kind of quit weighing myself. And that's when my sleep apnea really kicked in big time, and I was unable to sleep very well. I was spending my weekends trying to just sleep them away, trying to catch up on sleep I couldn't catch up on. I was having random pains in my feet, my knees, and getting around was a real hassle. So it was at that point that it was starting to affect my job and my life. I was basically just going to work and going back home and going back to work and go back home, and I had no life outside of that, just because I didn't want to move too much. It just hurt too much. And
what do you do for work?
I'm an IT guy. I'm the guy you call when you need your printer fixed, you need your phone, your iPhone connected to the network, your keyboard quit working.
I usually just call my husband.
But if I can, I want to show y'all a picture of the earliest known record of me being thin.
Yes.
If I can screen share.
You gotta talk.
Okay, I'm still talking, but if y'all can see that,
yes,
picture, that is the only picture of me being thin in my life. That's it. After that, I started gaining weight.
You are such a cutie. Look at those eyes.
I'm
sorry. I'm a sucker for little kids.
I have no idea what age I was at that point, but
you probably look like you're about 4 or 5.
Yes, I was going to say 4.
But I do have proof that I was thin at some point in my life.
Aww. I love that.
And I want to show you my heaviest picture before I had surgery.
Okay.
Love to see it.
Give me just a second here to...
Yeah, while you're bringing that up, Randy, can you tell us how tall you are?
I'm 5'11".
5'11".
Yep, 5'11 and a half. Is the new picture up yet?
Yeah, and what was your highest? What was your highest weight?
You said 375.
Yeah, 375 was my known highest weight. I may have gotten a little bit bigger than that because I did just kind of give up on weighing myself at a certain point. But that picture's from about July of 2012, just a few months before surgery.
Okay.
Awesome. You've accomplished amazing things. So
Amazing.
I want to get back to sleep apnea for just a minute because I had sleep apnea as well. How about you, Melody? Did you have sleep apnea?
I have it now. I didn't have it before that I know of.
Wait,
So
so
mine was determined after, and they said they don't think it's weight related, but I'm not so sure if it is or isn't. I went to a specialist after, a metabolic specialist after my sleep about 5 months ago, and they said, well, maybe you're not sleeping well, because I failed to lose all my weight and did everything right. My story is well known. I won't retell it, but that's one of the things that I looked into with sleep, and they did. I have like a mild sleep apnea, so I use a BiPAP machine, and it helps me wake up clear-headed, and I feel great using it. So unfortunately, mine's the reverse story.
yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah, I think you're the only person I've heard say that actually, that it's gone the other way.
Yep.
So Randy, are you completely sleep apnea free now, or do you still have to use a machine?
I think I still have a mild version of sleep apnea because I don't get fully rested when I sleep. But after about 10 months and losing 130 pounds, I couldn't sleep with the CPAP machine anymore. It was pumping so much air down my throat at night that I was waking up in the middle of the night. This is TMI, but I was passing gas so much that it was waking me up and belching so much. And I started experimenting over the course of a month to every once in a while I would try not sleeping with it. And one day I realized that I didn't need it anymore. It was sometime in that 10th month that I started realizing I could sleep just as well with it or without it. So I stopped using it altogether.
Now, did you ever go in and have the official sleep study to determine that you don't need it anymore?
No, I did never go in and have that checked out. I guess I'm a typical guy. I don't, I'm one of those guys like just rub some dirt on it and get back out there.
Well,
yeah.
I did the same thing, Randy. Like at like the 130-pound mark, I was like, it became like an air conditioner in my face. It just blew on me all night long, and it wasn't doing anything for me anymore. So I just stopped using it, and I never went in and had the sleep test, which I should probably do because I'm tired all the time. But.
Yeah, it makes you a lot more energy. You maybe just need it adjusted, Randy. Or the type of machine I have is it changes the air with the inhale and the exhale. It's not just a constant blowing flow.
Right.
I couldn't use the CPAP machine. I told them I would rather die than use that. So they said, okay, well, this one's more expensive, but this one will probably work better for you. And they did a study with that one, and that's the one I ended up getting. So, yeah, it's not like, a terrible experience. It's more normal. It's more a regulated breathing kind of thing. So
Randy,
you probably does it, maybe. Because waking up clear-headed and having a clear, rested feeling, even if I only sleep 3-4 hours a night. I do not need more sleep, and she said that's the reason that because I use the machine, she says you'll have a lot more energy and you will not need as much sleep. So I thought that was pretty interesting too.
How do you feel, Randy? Do you feel well rested?
Yeah, I do wake up feeling like I've slept all night long, but I was a low energy person before the surgery, and I'm a low energy person now. I still have to drink coffee all day long to keep my energy levels up. So I was really expecting to get that huge burst of energy people claim they get after losing lots of weight.
Yeah.
That didn't happen to me.
Yes, me too. And I had really low iron, so they got that under control, and they kept saying, "Oh, you're going to feel so much better and have so much energy." That never happened. I still feel exhausted all the time. Until
like so much energy, I can run circles around a lot of people at my gym that are half my age. You know?
That's awesome. I hear a lot of people say that too. But actually, recently I started drinking coffee again, just 1 cup a day. It's made a huge difference for me. I can get through the day a lot easier now than I could before. Which I know it's probably not the healthiest thing.
No, I drink a lot of coffee, but I always have, except for the time I was banned from drinking it from post-op and just pre-op. But yeah, I went right back to coffee, no question.
So Randy, you said that you were heavy as a child, and did you have other family members who dealt with weight struggled with weight?
I have an older brother that was overweight, but it was because of the thyroid condition. and he didn't learn that until years later. But he's 12 years older than me, and so we really didn't know each other a whole lot. But I did remember that when he was in high school, around 18 years of age, he started working out like crazy and starving himself to lose the weight, and he did lose it and kept it off. But he couldn't figure out what was going on, and my parents never took him to a doctor, and so it was years later he was finally diagnosed with a thyroid condition. But my parents were both thin, average-sized people, and they couldn't understand why I kept eating late at night and just being hungry all the time. It was just really weird.
That was my biggest struggle, like pre-op, is being hungry all the time. Like I would tell people, I'm hungry all the time, and people would like just treat me like I was crazy and I had no self-restraint. And I'm like, I'm physically hungry. Yeah. And maybe it was attached to emotional things, but I felt physical hunger.
I agree with you. I felt that way too. How about you, Randy?
I never felt really physically hungry. It was all mental hunger. I was always craving certain flavors, to the point where I would have to actually go out and get it before I could go to sleep at night. And
oh wow!
It was
awesome.
It would just be kind of this little nagging voice constantly pulling at me. And toward the last 3 years before I had surgery, I knew that every 2 hours I'd have to eat something. I'd be hungry. No matter how much I'd eaten previously that last meal, I would be hungry again in 2 hours. So I had to. My life was spent planning what I was gonna be eating next.
Oh my gosh! I totally did that.
I did that too.
Like I'd be eating breakfast thinking, what am I going to have for lunch today? Or I'd be eating lunch thinking, what am I going to have for dinner today? Always thinking about what's going to come next. Yeah.
Is it awful?
Yeah, so I was really, really amazed and surprised and happy that the day after surgery, I never had another food craving for months.
Do you get them now?
Sometimes, but it's not anywhere near the nagging sensation it was before. It's really my choice now, and usually I will go out and I won't go out. I'll grab protein instead. I'm slowly retraining my brain that when it craves carbohydrates or sweets to reach for protein instead. And if I get filled up on the protein, I'm completely physically full, but the head hunger is still nagging me. I can just have a small portion, like 2 ounces or 3 ounces, half a cup, or 4 or 5 teaspoonfuls, and that's enough to stop those cravings. So now I'm in control.
Awesome. I've noticed, like, when I really crave something now, when I have it, it's not satisfying at all. It doesn't taste the way I imagine it's going to taste. It doesn't make me feel the way I think it's going to make me feel.
So I don't really have a specific craving anymore. It's just maybe it's just a habit of eating so much over the years. But I'll just feel like I want to eat something. It doesn't matter what it is. I just want something to eat.
Oh. I was going to ask you if you had certain trigger foods that still are problematic for you, or things that you have to leave out of the house. I'm sorry this is off the track, but I'm kind of curious. Because I know I still have certain foods that if I eat a little of it, I want more. Like
I only have one. Just one. Donuts. If I see donuts, I've slowly trained myself for the past 2 years to be able to walk away from them pretty much. But that is the hardest thing for me to walk away from, just a plain, old, warm, glazed donut. That's my kryptonite food. So I do not bring those in the house. I don't go to donut shops. And I only have them when they bring them to work. I have just one.
How about you, Melody? Do you have a trigger food?
Oh, I have several. Yeah, I have several, and I can't have them in the house. Cookie dough, caramel apples, stuff like that. Anything that is not donuts, I don't, because I taste the grease now. When I taste the donut, I taste grease. So, things like that. The cookie dough for sure, and any type of like a brownie, stuff like that, I would want to eat it. Cookies. I can't have that in my house. I really can't. Yeah. I'll go back, and I'm just going to have a little, and I'll go back and then have a little more and a little more. I won't eat the whole thing or anything, but it's just the fact that I'm not liking the fact that I know it's there and calling me, and I don't want to hear that voice from the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just here if I don't have it there. That's how I have to do it.
Exactly. Mine would be brownies. I've only had one since surgery, but if they were in the house, I would totally eat them. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
My main problem with having stuff like that around the house is it's just easier to eat that than it is to cook real food. So
it is.
I'll be in a hurry, or I'll just be impatient, and instead of taking time to throw some frozen Brussels sprouts into the microwave and wait 10 minutes, if I got a piece of pie my mom had sent home with me from having lunch with them, I'll eat that because it's just easy. I can walk over and grab it. It's not that I'm really craving it, but I'm also very lazy. So.
Now, Randy, you mentioned earlier that you tried like one last diet and then decided that it wasn't working and you need to have the surgery. Did you have like an aha moment or like a rock bottom moment where you made that choice?
Yeah, I mean, my rock bottom moment came when I was on a cruise in July of 2012. I was sitting on the edge of the bed in my white T-shirt, and I was sitting sideways to the mirror. And I looked over in the mirror and saw myself, and I really looked at myself and said, "You look like a big bag of garbage. You look like a big stuffed bag of garbage, white bag of garbage with a twist tie on top of it." And I just couldn't believe it was me. I would see myself and think I was wearing a fat suit that I couldn't take off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I remember thinking that. I feel like I'm wearing a fat suit. This isn't really me. I'm in a suit, and the real me is underneath that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know seeing those pictures or that reflection is very hard, when that moment or moments come. And then it leads to self-loathing. At least it did for me. I've started thinking, oh, I just hate myself like this. This isn't, like you say, this isn't really me, but I can't change it. It doesn't seem to work. No matter what I do, it doesn't seem to work. So I have to do something drastic.
Exactly.
That's what yeah.
Yeah, that's
so
pretty much
Randy,
where I was.
Yeah, same thing, right? Drastic. Especially when your feet are hurting, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is the last thing to go. When your feet start hurting, you can't find shoes that are comfortable. Every step is a chore and painful. It's like, oh, what's going to be next is what I started thinking. I'm feeling old, and I'm really not old yet, right? And
exactly, yes. So I used to constantly think, I'm so sorry. I'm like all chatty tonight. I used to constantly think, I am too young to feel this old.
Yeah. And I felt like you look really old compared to how you should look, right? If you can't even walk from your car, a few blocks to the event or whatever without having to stop. And what is it going to take for you? And then it's always like, well, you think, oh, well, I really don't eat that much. Well, I guess, that much was too much. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right.
Yeah. And when that hard moment when so how do you feel about your decision now, Randy, that you've had the weight loss surgery? It seems like you're pretty happy with it.
Oh, I couldn't be happier with it. It was the best decision of my life. I only wish that I would have had the nerve to do it back when I was 25, because between 25 and 46, or age 43, I weighed 270 all the time, 250 to 270. So I just feel like I wasted all those years being overweight, and this was a tool I needed to lose the weight.
Mm-hmm. So, we have this picture in our mind of what life is going to be like after surgery. How is your picture about your life after surgery? How is that versus the reality of it?
I really never thought about what it was going to be like afterwards. I was more worried about what it was going to be like, because I never knew how to be thin. I spent all my time trying to avoid attention, and I knew that losing the weight, people would notice it coming off. They were going to start asking me questions, how I lost the weight.
Right.
And I couldn't use being overweight as an excuse not to get out there and socialize, or to date, or just to go out and do things with friends. So I was more worried about what it was going to be like rather than thinking about what it was going to be like. my only disappointment, like I said earlier, was the lack of the unlimited energy that so many people talk about getting after losing weight. So I was really looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if you still can't get that, Randy. You know, we'll have to talk after the show. I'll give you some of my tips. Because I take a lot of vitamins and a lot of different. I don't know if you do, but I'm taking 2 multivitamins a day and a lot of other supplements. In addition to now getting my rest and so forth. And I don't know, maybe I've just been high energy all my life. Other than when I was overweight, I was very low energy.
Well, I have been experimenting with different multivitamins. At first, I just took the generic ones that they sell at Walmart, and then I found this other brand. I got it right here in my bag. I can hold it up here.
Alive.
Because it has whole food extracts in it from vegetables and fruits. I've only been taking them for a few days, and I haven't really noticed a difference in my feelings yet, or energy levels. And I started experimenting with this stuff called Neuroclarity. Can you see that one?
I can see it. Collagen.
It's kind of a mental energy, I guess, focus type supplement. And I have noticed that this thing has a little bit of the same effect that caffeine has. My mental thinking is a little bit clearer. Not a whole lot, but it's noticeable that I can focus longer, especially when I'm looking at a computer screen. Sometimes after an hour or so, my eyes will start burning and I'll have to get up and walk away. But the other day I was at it for 3 hours and didn't notice the time had passed.
Oh, wow.
So I keep trying these different supplements to see what combination will help me think clearer and have more energy. But I really believe that having so many years of sleep apnea and the lack of sleep damaged my brain because I can't remember as well as I used to be able to. Because 2005, I went back to college to get my IT degree in information technology business, and I got my degree in 2.5 years, a 4-year degree.
Wow.
And I had to memorize and memorize and memorize, and I don't have that ability anymore. It's gone. So
the doctor did tell me that it does affect all of your organs, the lack of oxygen, and that and so I'm thinking, why doesn't everyone use it if it's this easy? You know what I mean? And that it's kind of like the Michael Jackson hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah.
You're breathing in a lot of oxygen. You're getting as much as you know what I mean, and you're getting it all night long without any effort. So why doesn't everybody do that? Not that I think it's, you know what I'm saying. It's kind of a, if it can benefit your organs, that's my main point about that. Not that everyone wants to wear a mask and, look crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because I couldn't wait to not use it anymore, because I had a full mask over the nose, the whole thing, and it had the straps over the cheeks, and it gave me a rash here. It was awful. I had a rash here. I had a rash here. For years. So is it uncomfortable to you? I don't know what the BiPAP is. So is it more comfortable, do you think, than the CPAP?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, for me it is. I couldn't wear the CPAP. I would just rip it off my face.
What does the BiPAP look like? What part of your face does it cover?
Okay, there's multiple different kinds of masks that you can get, just like with the other one, I'm sure. You can get a full mask. Mine, I just have one that goes under the nose, and it comes above the lip. So it just goes under the nose, and then I have one that's just a single strap that'll go behind my head, but I prefer the one that has a little strap over that's connected to the one that goes behind, and I have it set loose, so I can just pull it on, take it off. I really don't notice it being there once I'm ready to go to sleep. I don't wear it before I'm ready to go to sleep. And I just put water in it. It has a water tank.
Yeah.
And it'll heat the air or cool it, the same thing. And it's preset by my physician, right, for my needs.
Yeah.
And there's an app where you can see how many AHI that you have in any given time period, which is the the lack of oxygen, how many times you actually stop breathing for 10 seconds or more. And so you can actually look at your progress and, you know what I mean, and see how many you're having. And versus days that you don't. Like it'll tell you how your masks fit. You can't see it. It'll tell me if my mask was fit 100%, 99%, and then it will tell me how many hours I had, and then how many AHI, which are the hypoxia incidents, right, where you stop breathing for 10 seconds or longer. So I had 1.7 in 6.3 hours. So that's not very many.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
normally
that's great.
you want it to be 2 and under. And then you can click on it, and it will just show you, just to show you guys. You can't really see it, but there's a graph that shows you, you know, where you can look how many hours, how many apnea incidents, etc. And that's kind of irrelevant to the conversation, but it's just a way to, you know, monitor yourself. And like I said, I was really skeptical when I went to this doctor when she started saying, I think sleep might be your problem, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, well, you know, sleep so far hasn't helped me lose weight. Which is what she said. Maybe it will help you lose weight when your sleep is complete. But I do feel better and more clear-headed, so I can't argue with that. She said, well, 4 or 5 down the road, you'll be thanking me. And I'm like, okay, you know, we'll see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm very skeptical, okay, just like with a lot of things. I don't believe it till I see it, you know? And so, just like I was with the sleeve, you know, I'll believe it when I see it. Right?
Yeah. So Randy, let's talk about exercise. What do you currently do for fitness?
You know, almost nothing now.
Really?
I changed jobs about a year ago, and because my job keeps me late at work till 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, it's very hard to get up and exercise anymore. But my girlfriend and I, we do go walking twice a week for about 1.5 miles. Previous to this job, I had been walking 3 to 4 days a week, 3.25 miles a day, and we were at a pace of between 3.5 and 4 miles an hour.
Wow, that's awesome.
So my best friend offered to start walking with me the day after surgery, and about a month later, I was feeling good enough to start walking, and started off walking 1 mile, and just built up from there. It took months and months to build up to walking 3.5 miles or 3.25 miles. Yeah. But he was there pushing me every day, and there was a lot of times where I know that if he hadn't have been there willing to walk with me, I would have quit doing it. But
now that you can't, just because of time that you can't exercise as often, is that bothering you? Do you want to get back to it?
No.
Wrong answer.
But let me ask you this. You're 3 years out, right? My question is, have you experienced any regain? And if you start to see regain, what is your strategy for minimizing or arresting it at an early stage?
I'm glad you asked that question, because I just started a series of videos on my channel about the weight I've regained this year. I got down to a low of 203, and over the course of this, I guess the previous 10 months now, I've gained back about 15 pounds, and it kind of alarmed me. So I've gotten back to my old eating habits of eating as close to pure foods as I can, just eating lean meats and vegetables, staying away from not complex carbohydrates, but high glycemic carbohydrates, sugars, processed foods. It's a little bit tough because I've got my girlfriend now, and so I have date night on Tuesday night, and I have date night on Friday night, and we eat lunch together on Saturdays. So she likes to eat a whole lot better than me. I eat a real simple diet. Like today, I had just baked chicken thighs with some seasoning on it, and later on I had a dozen steamed Brussels sprouts with some salt on them. She doesn't like that kind of food, but I keep trying to tell her that I cannot eat the kind of food that she enjoys, and I cannot allow myself to ever be hooked on flavors again. I want food to be boring in my life. I don't want to look forward to eating ever again. By the time I had surgery, I had a real love-hate relationship with food. I loved the flavors, but I hated the control it had over me. So whatever it cost me, I'm never going back to that again. So there's sometimes where I tell her I just can't eat that. I can't have that food in my life.
And how does she respond to that? Is she supportive or?
Yeah, as long as she can eat it, she's pretty supportive. It's like,
Right.
fine. I say it's no big deal if you
One
want
of
to eat.
those ruler people, Randy, you know, just real thin that could eat anything they want.
No, she can't eat just anything she wants to. She's a normal sized person.
Mm-hmm.
But if she doesn't exercise and doesn't watch what she eats, she will gain weight a little bit. She was kind of upset a week or so ago because we have been eating a little bit better than what she was used to, and she had to get a bigger size pair of jeans the other day, so she's anxious to get back to walking and exercising and getting her diet back under control. So she's kind of getting in my camp now. She's wanting to walk. She's wanting to eat a little better.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys meet?
I had a profile on a local singles website here in Beaumont, Texas, and she contacted me through that. I almost did. Yeah, she's an A-type personality. She's very aggressive, and when she wants something, she goes after it. But the thing was,
I know that type.
but normally I never respond to ladies who contact me first if they don't have a picture in their profile, and she had no picture, so when I did my profile, I want people to see what they're getting into. I try to express my personality as much as I can, let ladies know who I am, what to expect, and what I look like. So I almost didn't respond, but for some reason I just took a chance and replied to her.
Why is that? Why wouldn't you respond?
Well, I feel like I've spent so many hours and hours and hours putting up my profile and tweaking it to reflect who I am. If you can't even bother to let me know what you look like, then you hadn't put much effort into your own profile. You just kind of. I've run across so many ladies who were attention seekers. They want to see how many guys who will contact them. They just want to collect the contacts. They don't want to ever meet in person. They just want the attention.
Oh, interesting. I wonder, because there's guys, Randy, like that too. I'm on certain websites. I'm single, divorced, whatever, and I find the same thing. If people write me without a profile picture, my profile even says, if you don't have a profile picture, don't expect a response. Because I want to know what I'm getting into, and I know that what you see is not always what you get. Because I've met a lot of these people; they don't look anything like their picture, and they lie about their age, and stuff like that. And sometimes young ones lie about their age to say they're older, just to contact you. I know it's weird, but there's all types out here, Jen. You guys, Randy, isn't there? There's all types out here.
It's funny. I have two girlfriends who are recently divorced, and they're on sites, and they're telling me about it, and it's like, oh my God, it's like the game has changed so much since I was out there. Yeah.
It's still a numbers game, though, right? It's still a numbers game, I guess.
In my girlfriend's case, because she works in the prison system, she didn't want her picture out there on the internet.
Oh. That's a very good reason.
Why? So the inmates have internet?
No, but there are people who get released, and then they start searching for her name on the internet.
And they start looking. Yeah.
They can kind of narrow down where she lives, what city, what state.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah. So, Randy, I think it's you and I have been chatting for a while, and we always talk about your dates, your two date nights. I think that's very interesting. How did that come about that you have these 2 date nights set every week? Because those are like non-negotiable. Like if I need to talk with him or meet with him, I can't do it on those nights. So
yeah.
So how did that come about?
Well, the original Tuesday night came about because my girlfriend is a very scheduled person, and she feels like you have to work at a relationship, and if you don't see each other at least once a week, the relationship may fall apart. And so we were seeing each other every Tuesday night for a while, and she goes, hey, why don't you start coming on Friday evening, we'll have dinner together. And that was an unofficial date night, but it kind of just became another official date night. And so it was kind of like I was drafted. I didn't have a choice in the matter. Because when she suggests doing something like, she goes, hey, why don't we go to New Orleans? I'm thinking, okay, we're going to New Orleans,
So it wasn't a question.
Right. That's her way of telling me we're going to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome that you roll with it. You must like her, otherwise you wouldn't be hanging out. You wouldn't be hanging out at all. So.
Yeah, we work out pretty well together. I do like her a lot. She's like I said, she's a very A-type personality, and I am not. So it doesn't bother me that she gets her way most of the time. We haven't really run up against anything that would be something I refuse to do. So I just kind of go with the flow. I don't make scheduled times to do stuff, and so it works out for her because she gets to do what she wants to do and have me along with it, or have me go along with it.
Okay. So what is your biggest struggle, do you think, Randy, post-op? I know everybody wants to know.
Really, it's breaking the habits of eating out of habit. That's been my biggest thing. It's not because I don't eat sometimes because I'm hungry. I don't eat sometimes because of head hunger, but I'll just get this compulsion to go eat, and especially after I've celebrated some type of goal. You know, I fixed a problem at work that was really, really tough, or especially if I look at my scale, like I lost 2 pounds this week. I'm like, let's go eat something. It's like, but you're killing yourself.
Yeah. Right.
So that's been the biggest thing, is to break out of the habit of eating, just out of the habit of eating.
I would agree with that. That's one of the things that I think is really, really hard about being so far out, and just returning to the normal life and not being around people who are weight loss surgery in your own personal life. At least for me, it is tough. When you're at people's house and they're throwing food down, and and you're like, okay, I just ate, and I'm full, so I really can't eat any. But you're tempted sometimes.
Yeah, and here at work, the owner, he is very, very anti-sugar, so he's pulled out all the Coke machines, and the good thing is he has started giving us free fruit. He'll bring in like 6 kinds of fruit and put it out there, but
that's awesome.
But I tend to overeat on fruit. Yeah, unless you tend to overeat on it like I do.
But it's fruit.
Right. Well, but still, a carb is a carb, Jennifer. That's what my surgeon would tell me. Melody, a carb is a carb, honey.
And it may not work this way for everybody, but on me, if I eat too much fruit, it will trigger my head hunger, and it will also keep the weight on me too.
Yeah, me too.
I did not know this.
So it may just be
part of my problem.
So I have to restrict my carbs.
Let's take a quick break and check in to see who is here right now. Watching live, we have Miss Beautiful Alicia. Hi, Alicia. She says, hello, everyone. Hi, hey, Randy. So excited to see you on the show tonight. And then Gastric Rose, Mama Rose, is watching. She says, hello, my friends. And she has a question. She wants to know if you will be attending the WSFA meet and greet. Now, I don't know if that's for all of us, so let's just go ahead and all answer that. We'll start with Randy. Randy, are you going to the WSFA meet and greet?
Well, unfortunately, I didn't even know it was happening. I'm trying to start figuring out how to find out about these events so I can plan ahead and actually go attend them.
Okay, Randy, this one is in April?
Is it May? April or May?
May, or it might be May this year. It's in May. It's in, now I'm going to get everything messed up.
Tennessee, Nashville? Is it Nashville?
Yes, Nashville, Tennessee, in May. And I will send you, there's a Facebook page, event page. I will send you the link to that page via Facebook, okay? So you can know about it, and then you can decide.
Yeah, that'd be great. I've been wanting to ask people who have been to those events, what all goes on, how much fun they are.
That will have to be a
too long to talk about.
Post-show topic. That's not suitable for on air.
Okay. But,
let's just say it's a lot of fun.
But locally, I don't know anybody who's had weight loss surgery.
Wow.
Except for 3 coworkers who had it years and years ago. But my only insurance-approved surgeon was 2 hours away in Houston, Texas. So I don't have any local support meetings that I can go to and talk face-to-face with people and kind of have a network of people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I would highly recommend going to an event like OH or WSFA. I've never been to OH, but I went to WSFA last year. It was amazing. We have such an amazing community of people, and it's so cool to be like just surrounded by them. It's a little bit overwhelming. Like if you watch YouTube videos, there's a lot of YouTubers there, so it's like all these people live and in person. It's kind of overwhelming at first. But it's cool, and I would totally recommend going. How about you, Zen? Are you going to be going?
I might go. I'm not sure if I can get away because I'm a trainer. I work in telecom, so I'm constantly busy with events and stuff that I have to take care of here. But I'm considering it, and I've been to one of the WLSFA my first year. I was 6 months post-op when I went to Las Vegas, and it was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun there. It's close to me, you know. It was about a 6-hour drive for me. But
I love Vegas. I lived there for 4 years. I loved it there. Yeah.
That's right. You're a California girl, so we have lots to talk about.
Yeah, because I was in LA originally. But for Vegas, it's not a good place to raise kids. That's why we had to move away.
Right. Yeah. I have a kid too, so that's the other thing too. It's harder to get away being single with a kid that's going to school.
Yeah, that's really hard. Well, I am going to WSFA, knock on wood, because I was supposed to go to OH, and then we had our basement flood. But right now I have a place to stay. I have a way to get there. All I have to do is buy the ticket, and I should be set. Right. So I am planning on going to WSFA.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I'm very, very excited about it because I'm having a tough year, so I need something to like look forward to. So
yeah, right. And it makes it easier if you just have to buy the ticket. I mean, and the airfare. You
well,
know,
I don't
you
even
have a place to take.
I don't even have to do that because I don't know if you guys know. Do you know Gastric Tiger, Scott? Gastric Tiger.
Yeah, I know of him.
He's a good friend of mine, and he and his wife, they're just 6 hours away from Tennessee or Nashville, and I'm just 4 hours away from their house. I've gone to visit them, so a girlfriend and I are going to drive down to their house the night before, and then we're going to caravan together. So we're just going to drive. Oh. Yeah, so I don't even have to buy an airplane ticket.
Where are you located now, Jen? What area?
I'm in Iowa now.
Oh, you're in Iowa. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Like, you know, I started in LA, went to Vegas, went to Austin, Texas, and now I'm in Iowa. So everyone's always like, why? Why would you do that?
I guess that's a whole other story too, right?
Yeah, well, it's because of my mom's health. I'm here for her.
Oh, so right. Oh, awesome. Yeah.
So sorry, we off track there, but I get so excited when I hear WSFA. I get so excited.
Oh, I know. So well, Randy, I have a question here. Go ahead.
Let's say,
Randy,
you don't have one, you should come.
I'm gonna do my best to come there.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
So, where are the probing, deep, personal questions I was expecting?
I don't have any deep
the embarrassing questions.
Can we go there?
Go ahead, Jen.
Okay. So, how? I saw your little promo video for the show tonight, which, by the way, I loved. It was an awesome promo video. You guys should all check it out if you haven't seen it already. But so I noticed you were naked in your video. Or naked. I don't know if you're really.
I was topless.
Okay. So let's talk about skin. Is that an issue for you?
I mean, I have lots of saggy skin on my stomach. When I've got a video up on my channel that shows my 2-year anniversary body shot, and it's pretty much the same today. Where I've got an apron of skin that hangs down past my waist. I don't have the bat wings going on. It's a little bit under there. It's hard to see, but I mean, it's a little bit under there, but not bad. All my weight was really in my stomach, and I got the Gila monster thing going on under here. That's the only thing I really, really hate is that loose bit of skin under my chin. Mm-hmm. But
has the skin affected you? Like when you're intimate, has it affected you in any way?
No, I was really self-conscious about it at first, but my girlfriend does not seem to care at all. She doesn't notice it.
I think that probably makes a really big difference, like who you're with. But there's still that piece. At least for women, there's that piece of like you have to feel good if you're going to be intimate. You have to feel good yourself as well. But I've heard so many people say that their sex drive went through the roof after surgery. Was that the case for you, Randy?
Yes, pretty much. It went from almost zero to the desire several times a day.
Several times a day?
Several times a day. And that was before I had a girlfriend.
I thought you were going to say several times a week, but no, several times a day.
Yeah, several times a day.
Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
So okay, Zen, you don't have to answer this, but just for like another women's perspective, did your sex drive increase after surgery?
Yeah, it did. It changed a lot, like the same as Randy. I don't know about several times a day, but yeah, we could, you know, a lot more often than before. It definitely comes to mind. And I'm single, so and right now I'm not seeing anyone, so yeah, you know, you have to do what you have to do. So.
Yeah, my girlfriend's
right.
so hot.
I'm sorry, what was that?
That my girlfriend's so hot that when she texts me, I'm ready to go.
Wait, did she text you that tonight?
No.
Okay. So is she watching tonight?
I don't think so. She said she was going to be watching, but she didn't. She may have gotten caught up in some of her paperwork she has to do. She's a salaried person, so sometimes she has to work on her work at home on the weekends.
Oh.
So she didn't text me asking me for the link. So she may be tied up at the moment.
Oh, okay. So maybe she'll catch it later. No, I was thinking earlier, like when we were talking about her, I was thinking, you know, I don't want to be really careful, like I don't want to probe too much or offend anybody.
Well, she she made it clear early on that because of her job, she didn't want her name mentioned or her face ever on my videos or in pictures. So
right.
I made that promise, but other than that, other than not telling her name and not showing her face, I have no other restrictions that I know of. I guess I'll find out later on after this. if I have rules in place.
The events, you might want to have her wear a disguise.
Yeah, we should probably talk more after the show, but if you want to have a healthy relationship, you might want to take her to WSFA instead of going alone. Just a thought. We'll talk more after the show.
Right, there are
I just got busted.
There are.
Okay, guys, we are almost out of time, and I'm going to do my favorite part of the show, which is the very last questions. There's going to be rapid-fire questions, really fast question answers, and then David and I have an announcement, a message to share with everybody. So we'll start with the rapid-fire questions. Okay, Randy, what is your favorite word?
My favorite word is Weeblefeetzer.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed it. What was it?
Weeblefeetzer. It's a made-up word I heard years ago to describe just a thing. When you don't have the right word for it, my boss used to call. He'd go, "Well, the Weeblefeetzer needs to be fixed," and it just kind of stuck with me because it's so weird of a word.
That is weird. Okay, and what is your least favorite word?
The word "can't." When people say they can't do this, can't do that, it's like some people they don't want to learn new things, or they don't want to want to put forth the effort to learn stuff. And people tell you can't do that. It's like you can if you really wanted to. You can at least try.
Yeah, I like that. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
I've always been a people pleaser, so helping people really is something I really enjoy doing. Helping people solve their problems, especially with my new passion of being an advocate for weight loss surgery, helping the newbies who are scared, nervous, terrified. I can still remember all those feelings before I finally committed to surgery. So I just wish I could transfer to them the confidence and knowing that I have now of that it's worth the effort, that it does work. It's not like a pill or any program you've ever been on before. This is a real weight loss tool that does the job. It's not a false promise.
Absolutely. What is your favorite curse word?
Knob gobbler.
That's a good one.
What sound or noise do you hate?
I really hate the sound of car stereos with a thumping bass speakers. That just, it's so inconsiderate when people drive through your neighborhood and have those speakers playing, especially at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
And what sound or noise do you love?
I love the sound of laughter, especially at my own jokes.
Yeah.
When people are laughing at my jokes. I'm a closet comedian.
That's great. You like that too, don't you?
I do like that. I like doing the pat on it. Good one. Good one.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I would really like to be sort of a life coach. That would be helping other people either through weight loss surgery or financially helping them just become better people.
That was your thing for a while.
Yeah, I'd like to do that too. What profession would you not like to do?
I would not want to be a telemarketer who calls people at home trying to sell them anything. And
Right.
I know how much people hate getting those calls.
Right?
Absolutely. Okay, and this is the last one. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
It would be, here's that meaning to life you've always wanted to know about.
Awesome. Okay, so next week we have less of Sarah, and then we're going to be off for a week because the following week is OH, so there will be no show the week of OH. Melody, do you have any final words before David and I share our message?
No, go right ahead. It's been
Okay.
a pleasure, Randy, getting to know you and having your story come out here to the community here on The Naked Truth.
It's been a lot of fun. I'd like to do this again.
This has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Randy. I'm going to have Dave. I wrote a special message because this is going to be my last show for a little while. So I wrote a special message to everybody, and I'm going to have David read it for you because I know I'm going to start crying. so I thought in order to actually get the message out there, I needed somebody else to read it. So David's going to be my voice for me right now.
All right. I've always been very honest with you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. As most of you know, one of the main reasons I'm taking a break from the show right now is my mother's recent health concerns. Taking this break is so hard. I love the show and I love this community so much. Each week I want to be upbeat and happy for you. That has become increasingly difficult for me to do. Life is amazing and we all have so much to celebrate. I will still be here celebrating with you and cheering you on, just not so much in front of the camera. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am sad. I am very, very sad. I often cry, and getting through the week is difficult sometimes. Your outpouring of love and support during this difficult time has been greatly appreciated. So many people have offered to listen and provide emotional support. Our community is amazing. You are amazing. Unfortunately, I just can't talk about this in person. Every time I try, I start crying. Here's the latest news on my mom. Unfortunately, the situation is not as good as they originally thought. The tumor is larger than they originally thought, it's growing, and it's secreting a hormone. She has been referred to Mayo Clinic and will be having surgery to have it removed. People have been asking me what they can do. Here's what I need. I need your continued good thoughts and prayers. Please send me strength. She needs me to be strong now, for her, for the boys. I am failing miserably. I'll be taking the next few weeks to focus on my family, and when I do come on as a guest co-host, I'll be focusing all of my energy on making the show upbeat and fun for you. Thanks so much to everyone who has stepped up to keep the show going. I appreciate what you're doing more than words can express. But for now, I will just say thank you to Elizabeth, Lindsay, Patty, Tanya, Scott, and James. We're all so lucky to have you as part of this team. Like I said last week, this is not goodbye, it's see you later.
See you later.